All right, greetings and welcome to the Choppin It Up Show here on the Marching Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Happy to be of service for you today. Today is June 29th, 2025, 3:31 on the West Coast, 6:31 on the East Coast. We appreciate all those, whether you watching live or you watching in the podcast form through one of our platforms. So today we always have a good guest, like I say every time. But this is pretty cool because, as you guys know, the Honda Battle of the Bands was out here, and I was all excited about it. And I got a chance. It turned out to be a huge success. But after the battle was over, I was trying to get to see some of the directors and stuff. Okay, so how they were doing it, they were like pushing people out and they were sending all the bands, I think, like to the bottom level so they could get like their food, and then they were pushing them out. And so I was trying to catch up and talk to like the band directors and see the band and everything. All right. So somebody let me go down to one of the different levels from where we were, and I see these two people, two girls walking, and one girl had a Jackson State jacket on. And I was like, well, I was like, who is that? So I reached out and talked to them. One of them was Jackie Barnes. We talked to her a couple weeks ago. And the other was the one and only Leslie Henry. So now we have her on here today to talk to her. So this is going to be a good conversation because she's doing a lot of stuff that I see on social media. So we're going to ask her about all that she's doing out here. So welcome, Leslie Henry. How you doing in this podcast?
Amazing. I am doing amazing. I'm thankful to actually be here, to actually have met another Jacksonian, because I love meeting people from not only Jackson, but people that also went to Jackson State, because I am a super, super, super fan of Jackson State. So I'm thankful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for agreeing to be on the show. And I see that you're doing a lot of good, big things. So I definitely want to get it out there and help promote and what you all the stuff that you're doing.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. So Leslie, where are you from?
So I am actually from Columbus, Mississippi, which is the northeastern part of Mississippi. I don't know if you are familiar with Mississippi State.
Well, yeah, my dad's actually from Jackson.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So my hometown, Columbus, is probably like 20 minutes away from Starkville, which is where
Okay.
Mississippi State is, and
Yeah.
it is actually 2.5 hours away from Jackson.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So now, if you north, is that still considered to be the Delta then?
No, so the Delta is more. Oh my God, I think it's more. No, no, it's like because it's far away from the Delta, but
Okay.
it's like I'm trying to think because my mom now lives in South Haven, which is actually closer. Like she can get to the Delta quicker that way.
Okay.
But my hometown is actually further away from the Delta.
Okay. So
Mhm.
South Haven, that's like close to Memphis, right?
Yeah, it's like right there on the Memphis line.
Right, right. Okay. Knew a lot of folks from that area too.
Okay.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, my pops is from Jackson.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and he went to Jackson State.
Got it.
So when I went down there, pretty much my whole understanding of Jackson State was, and as you know, we used to be in Memphis every year against Tennessee State.
Uh huh.
So I grew up in St. Louis, and
Okay.
so we would go to that Memphis game pretty much every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then if we were in the Windy City Classic in Chicago, we'll be there. Or either the other one that was close to us was Indianapolis. So if the Boone was in like the Circle City Classic, we'll go there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
because my dad was in the band, so he wanted to make sure I saw the band growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
that's neat.
yeah, so that's really really cool. Okay, so now you grew up in Columbus. Now, where did you go to high school then?
So, well, I actually went to two different high schools. So, my father is from a small country town by the name of Caledonia, Mississippi.
Okay.
So, I went to high school there, probably like my ninth grade year up until like half of my 10th grade year. And then from 10th grade up until I graduated, I went to Columbus High School, which was more
Okay.
in the city area of Columbus. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. So now you from Mississippi now.
Mm-hmm.
What was your college selection process like? Did you
Okay.
know you were gonna go to Jackson State, or like how did that turn out that you ended up at Jackson State?
Oh, okay. So my dad's brother, my uncle, he actually went to Jackson State. He
Okay.
played baseball there.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and I have a lot of cousins that actually went to Jackson State as well, and they
Right.
played in the band, and of course they played sports. So my family, we always, like, every year for the homecoming and the Capital City Classic, when Jackson State played Alcorn every year, we always gathered and went to homecoming and the Capital City Classic. So my first time going, probably maybe was like 8. And I remember going to, I think it was homecoming, and because my cousin played in the band, we always sat right next to the band.
Oh, nice.
So, I remember seeing the J sets, and I remember turning around to my mom and daddy, and I said, "I'm going to college here." So ever since I was 9, I always knew that I wanted to go to Jackson State. It was like no questioning. Like, my mama tried to get me to go to Mississippi State. Um,
Oh.
she tried to get me to go to Scuba, which is a community college in Mississippi. Like, she was trying to get me to go to every other school other than Jackson State, but I was like, no, I'm adamant. And I knew that I was going so bad that I waited to the last minute to take my ACT and actually apply to Jackson State, because I was just like, I know I'm gonna get in. Like, I don't like I just so yeah, I waited to the last minute. I probably waited maybe like the end of May. And I remember getting my offer letter in June, and I was just like, yeah, so I'm going. So yeah, it was kind of easy peasy for me. Like, I didn't go through a long process of like choosing where I wanted to go.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Now, when you say scuba, now that makes I'm wondering. There was a Netflix special about, I can't remember. It's something, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was talking about their football team.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just sports at the community college level, because
Uh-huh.
they got like a basketball one now. So that's
Right.
scuba then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. So that's cool. So yeah, you now did is that close to where you are in Columbus?
It's about like 30-45 minutes away from me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's to me that's close. Like if it's under an hour, then it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, basically in the back door.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. So, what year did you finish high school?
So I graduated from high school in May of 2008.
2008. Okay. So
Mhm.
then that fall 2008, you were at Jackson State then.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Now,
Mhm.
real quick, you said your cousins were in the band.
Mhm.
Who was in the band, and were they their last name was Henry?
No, so oh my God, if you hadn't asked, I could have told you. Um so my cousins that were in the band, they were from West Point, Mississippi, and they went to Jackson State, I want to say, in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they played in the band, like, right in the, and I can't think of their name, because they're actually my cousin through marriage. Um,
Okay.
yeah, my cousin's husband is actually my cousin. So I only know her married name. I can't even think of what her maiden name is, but her and her sister actually played in the band.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So I had my dad was in the band, couple of my uncles in the band,
Mhm.
and then like you said, I had so many cousins because my dad has 6 brothers and sisters.
Okay, okay.
So I got a whole bunch of cousins, and a lot of them went to Jackson State.
Yeah.
and about like five, I want to say five bars in the band. One of them came in '89, and then the other one, her little brother was in '90, and then I got there in '97.
Okay.
So one way or another, I'm sure I know your family because a lot of
Yeah.
us still keep in contact with each other.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And we got the Sonic Boom Alumni Association. So we still converse with other people from other years and that's everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. Okay. So that's what's up. Okay. All right. So now tell me now, um, what would you say was your most memorable experience there at Jackson State?
Oh, um, that's interesting. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to sound lame, but it's just, I mean, really just being on campus. And I did a lot of, like, I was in a lot of clubs. I was on dance ensemble. I was a part of the Insatiable Modeling Squad.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was a part of different clubs and organizations. So honestly, just being a part of those, well, it was the highlight of my college experience because of course, meeting people from all different walks of life that came from all over to go to Jackson State, and then just getting that campus experience and just meeting each other and having to travel to other HBCUs and interact with their organizations with them. So that was just being in the presence of other students that went to that went to the HBCU. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And so I gotta ask, now were you and Jackie there at the same time?
We actually were. She
Okay.
got there a year before me. So yeah, she got there a year before me. But what's crazy is we didn't really know each other while actually going to Jackson State. Me and Jackie
Wow.
connected after college. I met her through a friend in college, but it was just we knew each other in passing. But it wasn't until after college that we actually got connected with each other.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I saw y'all and it was exciting because the boom was here for the Rose Bowl, for the
Right.
Rose Bowl parade.
Right.
And so of course they were going to be one of the bands selected, but they said that, they weren't going to come here for that and then come right back. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, um since I was in the band and I've been doing this podcast, I always wanted to go to the Honda, but I mean, as you know, travel back east can be difficult.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
And I wasn't married and didn't have any kids when I took the job here, and I
Okay.
wasn't expecting all of that to happen.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, oh, I'll be able to just come back and fly. So it didn't happen like that. So I was really happy that it came here. But it
Hmm.
was cool to see some other Jackson State folks there. It
Yeah.
actually was a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Absolutely.
I found out one of the people that was involved in bringing the Honda there, she went to Jackson State.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. And then I met her husband. He's a cute, he's one of the bros.
Okay.
So I got to meet him. And so it just turned out to be like a really good experience. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. That was my first time actually ever going to the Battle of the Bands. I
Oh,
always
okay.
wanted to go, but I never got the chance to. So when I was able to go out here, I was just like, yeah, I'm definitely going.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. And I know a lot of people were tripping because it was out here, but
Hmm.
it turned out to be a real big success because it was a whole lot of people up in that stadium.
Yeah, and honestly, I was surprised by that it was so many people. I didn't expect so many people to come, I guess because it was on the West Coast. But I also have since being out here, I've realized that it is a lot of people that went to HBCUs that live out here.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. So that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your major when you were at Jackson State?
So my major was biology with a concentration in dentistry. So it was biology pre-dentistry. a crazy major to choose, but yeah, I graduated in it, got my degree. I wanted to be a dentist, but I moved out here probably like a couple of years after graduating, and everything just took a turn where I was just like, you know what? I'm actually going to try to take a different path. So
Okay, so you finished in what,
2012.
2012? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, so wow. So okay, I got to give you some props. You did it in 4 years.
Yes.
There you, so giving you props. You had your head on straight. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Okay,
Absolutely.
right. So how did you end up moving to California?
So, what's crazy is my uncle, the uncle that went to Jackson State, his wife is from here.
Okay.
And I remember growing up, he would always travel back and forth to California. And as a graduation gift, um, he got me a ticket to come to California because I was just like, I just want to see what the hype is all about, like
Right.
what's so special about it. So I came to visit and fell in love. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna move back out here. And then probably like 2 years later, I got with my current significant other now, and he had was just like, I think I want to try going back to California. So I was just like, well, I want to go too. So we ended up packing the car and we drove all the way out here. So and here we are, 10 years later.
Wow. Okay. So how did y'all break up the trip, or did y'all drive straight out here?
Well, we drove we drove as much as we could, and then we actually did stop. I think it was in OKC, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And we got a hotel, like it was like late at night, and then we probably slept for like maybe 3 hours, and then got right back up and just got back on the road and came back. Came here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. I had no idea I would be here. I finished graduate school and I had a job in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then I was chilling because Nashville is, for me, it was like the perfect place because my dad's from Jackson
Uh
and
huh.
my mom's from Charlotte, North Carolina. And then St. Louis is not. So I was like 5, 6 hours in between all my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
But then I got the job here, and then I moved here. That was almost 20 years ago now.
Oh wow.
Right, right.
Wow.
So, and that's actually how I started doing this podcast because I was trying to give back to HBCUs because as
Yeah.
you do find some people and more you because I live in Redlands. I'm like an hour from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you do see some HBCU folks and families here. But
Yeah.
it's not the same as like if you were in the South somewhere.
Right, right. It's so big in the South, and you see so many people. So with being out here, when I see someone like, oh, he went to Jackson State, and it's also interesting because a lot of people that went to Jackson State at the same time that I did, they live out here.
Right.
So I don't see them often, but sometimes we'll see each other in passing, or they try to we try to stay connected as much as we can. So it's like a small community out here, but we're out here.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So that's cool. So you out here in California now.
Hmm.
Okay. And I'm seeing what you're doing on the social media. You're doing a lot.
Yes.
So I want to find out how you got into that in the first place, because it seemed like the stereotype is people come out here and they want to be like an actress or they
Yeah.
want to get into filming and everything.
Yeah.
What's your story as far as you getting out here and then you like doing all that you're doing now with the actress that act like you doing like posts, you're like content creator, like you
Yeah.
doing all of that stuff. Like
Yeah.
how did that even happen?
Okay, so it's so crazy because I was a biology major, right?
Right, right.
And it's so crazy how I chose my major, because it was my senior year of high school, and it was just like one of those things. Columbus is a very small, it's a small town, it's very small.
Right.
And it was one of those things where I was just like, okay, I'm going to choose something that's going to get me out of here. And when I was in high school, we had what you call VOTEC. So I was in the nursing program, and so I ended up getting my CNA license my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And I was just, there was just like, well, you got to choose a major. And so I was just going through things like, okay, what it is that I want to do. Like, I was just like, I know I don't really want to do corporate. And I was just like, I don't really want to dress up like this. So I was just like, oh, well, I like teeth. And I loved my dentist. He was my orthodontist. And I was just like, oh, well, I'll be an orthodontist. And
Hmm.
so I was just like, I just chose a major, something that would, that would get me out of Columbus, and something that was, would sound prominent. So I went to Jackson State, majored in biology, and I will be honest, by the time I graduated, I was so stressed out from the major where I was just like, I don't know if this is really for me.
Right.
And with being at Jackson State, because I was in so many different extracurricular activities, that was something that I loved. Like, I loved dancing, I loved modeling, I loved although I wasn't a part of Mad Drama, in which that's one of my regrets. I loved acting. I loved being, helping people out, on campus, trying to create different, small little campaigns here, and people that's, trying to get into photography, and they're like, oh, you want to take a picture for me? And I'm like, yeah. So it was just like I had an underlying love for it. But being from Mississippi, you don't see that many people do it. So it's just like, oh, whatever, it's not attainable. It wasn't until I moved here where I actually built up the courage to tell my mom, because my dad, he kind of knew that I didn't really want to be a dentist, but he was just like, that's what you chose, go with it. So it wasn't until I moved out here, and then I just started to see people just do different things. And I was just like, oh, it is possible.
Hmm.
And when I moved here, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, I have to break it to you. Like, I don't really want to be a dentist. Like, I know, like, I got my diploma, I got my degree. Like, thank you, I'm happy. But I was just like, I'm gonna try a different route. And you know, growing up, I did plays in church, and I did so many small things that I actually had a love for artistry. So I got out here and I just started like networking as much as I can, meeting people, and just not being afraid, because I was just like, I'm this far away from home, like, why not try it? You get what I'm saying? So it was just something that I don't want to say fell into my lap, but it was just kind of like I'm gonna try it, because I had so many people telling me like, oh, like you should try doing this, or why aren't you on TV, or have I seen you on TV before? Like, are you doing this? And I'm like, no. And people telling me I've heard I look like Taraji P. Henson. I look like Rosario Dawson. So I was just like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And I was just like, oh, I modeled in college, so I'll try modeling. And I tried modeling, but I did runway in college. I didn't really know much about print modeling and the different avenues of modeling. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go that route. But I mean, it worked out, but not what I thought it would. So I kind of just networked my way into acting.
Okay.
I guess you could say, and I got my first opportunity, and it's been history ever since. I've,
Okay.
still doing it. Yeah.
Nice. So, what was your first opportunity then? Like, what was the first thing that you did when you got out here?
So when I got out here, I actually I can't think of the name of the company. I don't even think they're even a company anymore, but it was a company that were downtown. It was a modeling company. And my boyfriend's cousin was just like, she should try, being on TV. So it was like a commercial audition, and I went and auditioned for it. And I remember going into audition, and the lady she was so amazed at how I had just got the script and I learned the line so quick. So when I auditioned for it, of course I didn't get the part, but I got my actual first opportunity through a friend where she knew this lady who had like this waist bead company,
Okay.
and she was shooting a commercial, just a commercial for a small business, and um she asked me like would I be a part of it. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. And I did the commercial. It was so much fun. Like she had like all of these people here filming and all of this. So we did the commercial. It was a lot of fun. But I actually got my first opportunity in acting during 2020. I
Oh
used to work
wow.
for I used to work for a modeling company downtown. So as I worked for them, then the pandemic happened. The pandemic happened,
Right.
and because she was a small business, unfortunately, I she had to let me go. So at that time, she presented me with the opportunity to do live streaming on this app called Live It. And I was just like, okay, what's that? I knew nothing about it. I started live streaming on the app, and what's crazy is I was live streaming one day, and this lady was in my stream, and the people in the comments was just like, "Oh, like this lady, she's from Mississippi." So I was
Mm.
like, oh, "Okay, hi, like, what's your name?" And we're talking. She was just like, "Where you from?" And so I was like, "I'm from Columbus," and she was like, "No, I'm from Columbus too." And I was like, "That's crazy." So to make a long story short, she actually works as a location scout here in Hollywood, and she told me she lived here. She had her own production company, and she was just like, "Hey, I am going to be shooting a short film for my production company. I would like for you to audition." And I was just like, "Oh, like I didn't know anything about auditioning, didn't know anything about what a self tape was, none of that." So I just kind of swept it under the rug, like, okay, whatever. So then that was like maybe June or July-ish. And then she ended up hitting me up probably like that October. And she was just like, "Hey, we're actually gonna go forward with the movie." So now December rolls around. I take the time to like, hey, I'm gonna go home for a month. So I went to Mississippi for a month because I was just like, I'm just out here not really doing anything. I'll go home. Soon as I get home, they tell me, "Hey, we want you to audition." So
Wow.
I was just like, okay. So I get on YouTube. I look up like what's the audition, what's the slate, like what do you do with our slides. So I did all
Wow.
my research. I auditioned for the actual the movie, and they called me back and they were like, "Hey." She asked me. She was like, "Do you have like a theatrical background?" I was like, "Yeah, I performed in plays as a kid." She was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna do a one-on-one acting class with you for like an hour, and then we want you to audition again for the casting director." So we did that, and then I auditioned for the casting director, and then I got a call that night that I had actually got one of the supporting roles for that supported the lead actor in the movie. And so we did that. We shot the movie in December of 2020 in my hometown, and it was me and a couple of other actors that are new, but one of the actors he played in The Wood.
Okay.
His name is Dwayne Finley. So he was in the movie as well, and I got my opportunity there. I was thankful because it was in my hometown. It was in Mississippi.
Right.
So that was very exciting, and ever since then, I've just been networking. People have been seeing my work. I got into acting classes, and I interned. I'm actually a social media manager for the acting studio, so that's also how I network as well, by meeting people and talking to people. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you actually are working um to make this happen. So I think that's the part that's really impressive is
Yeah,
I don't know if you know Mara Hall. I don't know if you know
I've
Mara.
heard of her name before. Yeah.
Okay. So Mara actually marched in the band with me,
Uh-huh.
and she came out here very similar to you. She got her music degree. She was in the band.
Uh-huh.
And then she went to masters, I believe, at University of Cincinnati, and then she came out here and same thing. She said, "Okay, I'm gonna start getting into acting,"
Yeah.
and she started doing auditions, and so what it seems like it's a lot of work.
Oh
Like
yeah. Absolutely.
it's it's a whole lot more where you guys are putting a lot in.
Mhm.
And I guess that there's so many people, or is there something, it's a lot going on. You really put in a lot of work to make your career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I heard from her. So I think what's impressive about you and her is once you decide to do it, you got the perseverance and the initiative to hang in there and do all of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
A-
it's a lot going on with that. And so yeah, when I see like all the stuff that you do, and that's what I was gonna make sure I asked you today. I was like, wow, like what all are you doing to be involved in all of this stuff? You know.
Yeah, it's really just honestly and truly God because it's not a it's not it's not easy. I know a lot of people feel like, "Oh, like you got it easy, like you just do this and you're able to do this," and it's just like, honestly, no. I get a lot of no's. I get a lot of no's.
Uh-huh.
I audition a lot. I get audition probably 2 or 3 times a week. I'm auditioning, and
Wow, really?
yeah, yeah, like I said, you get a lot of no's, but you also get a lot of yeses. But it may not. And the thing about it is, some people feel like, oh well, and it's not. It's kind of like a pet peeve, but not really, because when you tell people, oh, like I'm an actor, they like, oh well, what have you been on, and or
Right.
just,
Right.
oh, where can I find you, and that's kind of like a myth, especially in this day and age, because it's not the same as it was like in the 90s or even in the early 2000s. It's totally different because there's so many different platforms and avenues
Right.
that can and will allow you to live a lucrative life
Mhm.
with pursuing that. And it's still a journey. It Like, you hear so many different stories of people who has been at this for probably like 10 plus years, and then finally they get that big break. So it's the same with me. It's hard, but I know this is also a passion of mine that honestly I didn't realize was a passion until I got out here and I started to see more people pursue it and do it, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna pursue what I really want to. And it's been fun. It's always a journey, of course. And I feel like that's with anything that you do or anything that you really want to do, is always a journey. So as long as you
Right.
stay the course and you remember what's important to you, it's gonna work out.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's and that's I think the picture you painting is what I hear. Like, folks do like um you hear a lot of no's.
Yeah.
But I think overall, and that's kind of the lesson I'm figuring out as I'm getting older, is that you're gonna hear a lot of no's and everything,
Mhm.
or you're gonna fail a lot or something, but you keep picking yourself back up, and that's
Yeah.
overall what you need to do.
Yeah.
And so seeing that, I thought it was cool. Of course, you went to Jackson State, but it's just like,
Mhm.
wow, so she's doing this. And then um, when we were setting up to try to do the interview, you were like, all right, well, let me check because I might be taping that weekend. I was like, dude, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah. I
saying?
actually was taping yesterday, so yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But no, overall, that's really cool. Um, that we got some of our HBCU graduates out here involved in that.
Yeah.
Um, and then I do want to go back because
Okay.
I thought about something when I was talking to Jackie about it.
Uh-huh.
You came at a time where, and we going back to Jackson State.
Mhm.
You came at a time where there like fast food places on the yard when you were there?
So my freshman year, I remember the old it was the old, oh my god, why can't I think of the name of it? But it was the old Union. They had
Okay.
the old union, and I remember the first semester of my freshman year, they were actually closing it down,
Wow.
and they were in the process of opening up the new union, which is the big union at the other end of campus now.
Okay.
So my first semester of my freshman year, it was the old union was open, and they had like a couple of places in there, but it wasn't like it wasn't what the new union was. And
No.
literally
No.
by the end of the first semester, right into the second semester, that's when the new union opened, and then that's when um. And I'm trying to think. I don't even think it was that many like places. I think it was maybe like one or two fast food restaurants that were in there. But it wasn't anything like just like big. It's like what it is now. I'll say
Right.
that. Like what it is now, it was nothing like that. We probably maybe had I remember honestly true, I remember a Subway, and I think it was another restaurant. I can't think of the name of it, but I for sure remember the Subway. And I think that was it. But now they have so many different ones, like different restaurants inside of there now. But yeah, when I was there, it was just opening, so it wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah. So that's
Mhm.
the part where I like when I talk to folks now,
Uh huh.
I have to go back and break it down to them.
Yeah.
How, oh my God. Okay. How different that was for us. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So and I'm sure it was lots of years before that, but if you went to college, part of the whole college thing was that you were starving all the time.
Right.
Right. Okay. We didn't have none of that stuff on the yard. So, the whole area around Jackson, there would be there. I remember there was a subway down the street.
Uh huh.
And then I want to say I can't remember the street. I think I want to say maybe it was Terry or something like that.
Uh huh.
Um, but like you would go down off the yard and you make a left. There was an Amico station on the corner.
Mhm.
And then you go down there, and then there was like a Burger King. And then there was other stuff around there, but you had to know somebody with a car.
Yes, in order to get there. Yes.
Oh my God. Because the calf closed at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
Yep. And if you
Um,
miss, it, you gotta look.
you were out of luck. And I
That's
was in
it.
the band, so practice started at 6 o'clock for
Uh huh.
us. So a lot of times, a lot of us would go like early, like it would open at like 4 or 5. And so the whole notion of like stuff being on the yard was a trip. Okay.
Mhm.
Then the other thing that tripped me out, Jackie told me about, was the supercards.
Oh yeah, yeah, the supercard.
Supercar. We had supercars, and pretty much you could, and the old union for us was the union. So
Mhm.
the new that's something new. When I went back to the yard and I saw it, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So on your supercar, uh you could wash your clothes,
Yep.
okay, on the laundromats on the yard, and then you could like buy books from the bookstore.
Yep.
And then like towards the end when I was leaving, you could start using it at Burger King.
Mhm.
But now I'm hearing they had a whole bunch of businesses around town where you could actually start using your supercar.
Yeah, I remember in the Metro Center, like it was like a couple of places in there, like you could actually go shopping. You could buy clothes with your supercard, like food.
Wow.
It was so much that you could buy with the supercard that I know I've used it, like especially when I got that refund check, and you load stuff. Oh yeah, I for sure I remember going to Metro and shopping with my supercard.
Wow. That blew my mind. When she told me that, like, that blew my mind. But I guess it makes sense too, like where certain businesses they caught on
Uh huh.
and they were like, yeah, your folks putting some money on the card, then you can come over here and spend it here. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I looked in the chat thing. Jackie, she on there, she said, hey,
Hey,
uh,
Jackie.
so she's out watching and stuff. So that's cool. So yeah, I meant to ask you that before, but I had
Uh-huh.
forgot about it because I was like, what
Yeah.
is she doing now? Okay, so now you out here, you putting in the work. What would you say so far has been your most memorable experience in acting, or has there been an opportunity that presented itself that was really good, like that's really, or like your proudest moment? What would you say that has been so far for you?
Oh, what is my honestly? Every time I'm acting, that is like my proudest moment because it's just something that I really love. But I will say that last summer, I actually got the chance to um work with, I would say, a childhood legend. I worked with Omar Gooding. I did a movie with him.
What?
Um, yes, I did a movie with him, and it actually will be coming out soon. We have a billboard on oh my God, on Crenshaw. I forgot
What?
across the street. Yeah, we actually have a billboard up over there. So that was a great experience because that was someone that you saw on TV when I was a kid. Like he was on almost every show growing up, especially on Nickelodeon. And of course, he was in Baby Boy. So that was exciting. And it was funny because I got handpicked by the director. She was just like, you're a really good actor. I would really love for you to be a part of this movie. And so she had me sign the NDA, and I can talk about it now because it's over. But
Nice.
she had me sign the NDA because she was like, "Yeah, we have this big actor that's gonna be a part of," it. And I'm thinking like, "Oh, okay, like like who could it be?" So I actually didn't know until showing up on set, and I was just like, "Oh!" And he was very cool to work with. So that was a great moment for me, especially with me being so early on in my career, and me pursuing it, because not many people can say that they have started this early in their career and they got to work with some
An
legends
actor.
that,
Right.
yeah, like some big actors. So I was, I'm happy and proud about that. And then also too, like I said, I work with an acting studio, and that honestly, working with that acting studio has also allowed me to meet some heavy hitters of people where I'm just like, okay, sometimes I have to pinch myself where I'm like, okay, am I really standing next to these people? Like, am I
Right.
really, being around these people? So yeah, it's just being being in the room and not feeling like you don't belong there, just really being like, I actually belong here. So yeah.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
I do have a similar well, not as I'm not on your level.
No.
But I had a experience myself where I had a friend like so as you know, I'm in Redlands,
Uh-huh.
and I got out here because I draw maps. I
Oh,
have
okay.
my okay, I have my master's in geography, so I draw maps. And the number one map software company in the world is here in Redlands.
Okay, got it.
So that's how I moved here. And
Uh-huh.
then I had a friend who works with me, and he knew someone in LA, and he got us tickets to be seat fillers for the Image Awards.
Got it.
So this was, I want to say it was like the 2006 because I got here in '06.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it was like 2006 when the Image Awards happened.
Uh-huh.
And that tripped me out because, I'm sitting around. I saw Bernie Mac and I saw Nia Long,
Yeah.
and Tisha Campbell waved at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my
Uh,
auntie in my head.
right, right, right. So that tripped me out. And so I guess to piggyback on what you're saying, it felt like being on the yard almost
Yeah.
because these all these black actors around you, and then they were all because they all knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could hear even some of them talking about how the experience in the industry, everything is affected by race, and how they all work together on so much
Right.
because of the different opportunities they did not get in other places. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool. And even like hearing Mars' story, even hearing your story, um, when I think of Cuba Gooding Jr., I think of the smart guy.
Yep.
That was my show. Like him on that show, it really tripped me out. So
Yep.
I'm really excited about that. You definitely have to let me know so I can support uh,
Absolutely.
and put it out there because I think he's got on social media. And I think he put out, I guess, something that he's gonna be in. So it might have been that movie. I have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like I said, so I see you on Instagram and I see that you're doing a lot. And so I wanted to make sure I talked to you today because it's really, really cool again to see somebody. I was like, oh, they went to Jackson State, and they doing
Yeah.
big things. Do you know DeMarco Morgan?
No, I never, I don't know. I don't think so. No.
Okay, so DeMarco went to school with me. He's a journalist and he's on ABC, I believe.
Okay.
So if you ever watch ABC during the daytime, I think he's on there. He's been out here a lot. He was in LA. I think he's in Atlanta or New York now, one of the two.
Uh-huh.
But definitely somebody to look out for because he's super Jackson State too. He'll be
Yeah.
in Vegas, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that's probably another good contact for you to have because he's been around, but he's just, he's on the camera. He's just on the journalist side of things.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Keep that
may
in mind.
see him, light skinned brother. You'll see him, but like it, yeah, ABC, um, you'll see the journalist, but he was in school with me, and so it's a trip to see like someone that you went to school with on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Any other things that you have plans for? Anything that's on the horizon for you, anything that we should be on the lookout, or anything that we should want to help and support everything that you're doing.
What am I doing right now? At the moment, I don't have any new projects that are actually about to come out. I know the movie I just told you about, it should be coming out soon. We still haven't gotten a date for it, just yet. I mean, I always encourage people to follow me on social media. You can follow me on Instagram at underscore Leslie Monique, and it's LeslieMoniq. You can follow me on TikTok at Leslie Monique, LeslieMoniq. I have a YouTube channel that's up and coming. And I'm just looking to show more of my talent on social media because now social media, the entertainment industry has taken a turn. So now, one thing that I say is don't wait, create. And it's like one of those things where it's just like create the opportunity for yourself and put yourself out there because that's how a lot of people are now searching for talent, and that's by looking on social media, seeing who's the next big thing, who's the next hottest thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue to work and going to continue to put my craft out there and put my content out there as much as I can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yes, guys, that is my Instagram page right there. Definitely follow.
All right. All right, I had to do some maneuvering around. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, here you are.
Excuse me.
And then what is the Facebook page again?
My Facebook page is Leslie M. Henry.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Mm-hmm. And my TikTok is just Leslie Monique. LeSliemoniq.
With the 4.2K followers, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
listen.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty. And you just recently celebrated a birthday.
I
So
did.
happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I did. I
Uh,
did.
and then TikTok. What's your stuff on TikTok again?
It's just Leslie Monique. LeSliemoniq.
Just so the folks at home can see you. Oh, there you
Yes.
go. I'm not on TikTok as much, but
Okay. Okay.
I just got on there and I saw that I could start like sending some clips and stuff like that on there. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big social media person. It is kind of like you have to be because like I said, I'm a social media manager for an acting studio. So you have to stay up with the latest trends and what's going on and what's popping. So yeah, I'm always on social media.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all definitely make sure that you follow Leslie Monique. Seems like that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of your tags.
Yes. So my first
Okay,
name, middle name.
okay. Leslie Monique Henry. Oh, this is the one that I always laughed at when I
Oh,
saw
that's
this one. Oh, I'm like, what's this? I'm like, oh, look at Leslie out there. She thugged out.
right.
Oh, I thought that was funny. That's what's up. All right, y'all. All right, so I'm really glad that I got to touch base with you.
Yes, of
Um,
course. Of
yeah, and
course.
so we have each other's information, so we can continue to touch base. Um, being here, and hey, whoever knows if something goes down, I definitely will. If I'm in the LA area, I will definitely let you know. Um,
Yeah.
I'm a part.
Yeah.
I do the Jackson State alumni meetings, so I
That
go
is
out there
so
sometime.
interesting. That's interesting because I actually I have another classmate from Jackson State who's a celebrity hairstylist. He's a celebrity hairstylist and he recently had a birthday party that I went to with one of my friends. And I met, well, not met, but I saw another girl that went to Jackson State with us that was there, and she was telling me that she was a part of the I guess the alumni association here
Yeah.
in LA, and she was just like, you should come out, like, and I was just like, yeah, because I have always wanted to be a part of it, but I didn't know how to get started or how to get into it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to, try to get into that a little bit more so that I can, meet other HBCU goers and Jacksonians as well.
Right, right. Yeah, it's really I'll send you the information, the lady's name.
Yes, please,
Um
please.
but yeah, and I appreciate them because before I would have to drive down because at one time Mara was the president
Okay.
and I had to drive down to LA and I mean, with the traffic and how it is, I just couldn't keep doing that every month.
Yeah.
So they started doing stuff on like the Zoom,
Uh-huh.
and so they'll have like a meeting, like every month on the Zoom. So I try to get that. But yeah, I'll definitely send you the information. But it's good to know. And a lot of them I got to meet because the boom came into town.
Okay.
And so that was really cool. It was a good experience and everything.
Okay.
So I'll definitely let you know that. So we get to the end of the interview, and I really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, of course. And if there's anything I can do to help promote what you're doing when you got a new project or you got something new, definitely let me know and I can spread it around as much as I can from my side. Or even if you come back on the show, so you
Uh-huh.
could do like a promo or you could talk about whatever uh, you got coming up and we can kind of help you send it out. Just because, like you
Yeah.
said, we know how difficult it is being in this business.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so difficult, and the main thing to actually grow is just by networking and opening your mouth, which is something that I'm learning to do more of,
Right,
because
right,
I'm not reserved, but I am in bigger crowds, and especially if I don't know you, I'm like, kind of to myself. So I'm actually, working on just actually talking and networking with people a little bit more, because honestly, you don't know who you may be talking to and who could be that person that could help you get the opportunity that you may have been wanting for a long time. So
right, right.
yeah.
Well, we definitely, and I'm glad that I met you, and we'll definitely be here to help you out.
Of course,
Uh,
thank you so much.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, anything that you want to say, any advice, anything that you want to put out there before we close out the interview?
The advice that I would give to those who are watching, I would just say to stay the course. Stay the course, keep God first with everything that you do, and always remember that your journey is always unfolding as it should be.
Mm, mm,
And don't ever doubt yourself. I know sometimes we tend to be in a place where we want more, and which is fine, that you should always want more, but you should always be thankful for the situation, or the current situation that you're in, because there may be something that you need to learn, that will help you grow and be a better you in the future. So just stay the course, keep God first, and just always enjoy the journey, and it's unfolding exactly how it should be. It's not over until you close those eyes. So yeah.
all right, here, let me give you a round of applause for that. And it's honestly something I've probably learned probably in the last 6 months. I want to say that something
uh,
like that. That life is unfolding exactly how it should be,
yeah. It.
and you are exactly where you are right now. This is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
That's something I had to learn, of course, the hard way. But with me, of course, I mean, you know how expensive it is out here to live.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like having a family, it's like so much of the next game. And so I was like trying to compare how I grew up in St. Louis to how it's not the same. So I was like, well, I'm supposed to have a house, I'm supposed to have this, I'm supposed, but it's like it's different.
Yep.
And our paths are different. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that. That's really good advice.
Yeah. 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 I tell myself, especially with living out here, it's no coincidence that I'm out here, and like you said, it's very expensive, and sometimes you could tend to be like, sometimes I just should leave and
Right.
try something easier. But I just say I didn't move out here to live a mediocre life. And if I did, I could. And not saying that moving back home, I would be mediocre. But if I wanted it easy, I would go back home. And I just know that I have a God have a bigger purpose for me. And yeah. So I'm like I said, I'm staying the course, staying encouraged, keeping God first, and yeah,
Well,
enjoying every moment.
right. Well, that's good. That's good. Um, so I will see you in Vegas.
Yes,
Shout out to really exciting. It's been a really good year as far as folks in California, especially us from Jackson State,
yes,
and the experiences that we have had.
uh huh,
And so now we getting to play Grambling in Vegas, and I'm hoping that it continues. They continue to have one there every
uh huh,
year, kind of
yes.
like Memphis, because then that'll be something where I could at least take my family, because I'm trying to expose my family to the HBCUs and the
My,
band.
I want my daughter to go to HBCU so bad, and she's kind of slowly, kind of getting on the train. But I want her to be more in that, like, that place, because I can't always make it to homecoming.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully it does become a thing where it's easier to just drive and get to Vegas that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Or even maybe if they started having something even in like Phoenix or
Yep.
something like that, like that would be cool too. But I mean, as you know, man, it's crazy. Uh it's expensive. I actually saw on the news the other day they were talking about the average home is like $800,000 here or something like that.
Yep. It's expensive.
Man, the average. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So yeah. So it's good to know we got another Jacksonian out here.
Yes.
Really proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
keep
Thank you.
doing your thing. And yeah, like I said, if you got something, let me know so I can help you kind of put it out there and pub it out there and we can help you blow up. And because like they say, if you blow up, we all blow up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, right, right,
Absolutely.
right. All right. Well, thanks again, Leslie. Let me give you another
Thank you for
round of
having me.
applause.
Thank you.
So that's really cool.
Woo!
You guys again, support Leslie. You can go on her social media as she showed you. Uh TikTok. Do I got the other tab? Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, okay. I can do the Instagram. Follow her on Instagram. Um, where was you on there? Y'all see her here. And on Facebook as well.
Mhm.
I'm so excited. I got this little thing. I can start sharing my screen now. Like that's I'm kind
Yeah.
of showing it off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to act. Oh, and that's us now. That's
Yeah.
us now, showing us live on Facebook. But yeah, digital creator,
Mhm.
Leslie M. Henry. You guys follow her all the way around.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Well, again, I want to thank you again for watching the show, listening to the show, whatever you're doing. Check out the marchingpodcast.com to help support. You can donate there. All of our various things on social media. We're in a lot of places now. And I know I used to go through all the different ones, but now I could just say the Marching Podcast, and you guys can pretty much find me from there pretty much.
Yeah.
But we always want to make sure that we're supporting our families and our peoples and our schools, and we making sure that we are putting each other in the right places. Again, if you want to also support the Marching Podcast through your business, you guys can see the ticker down there at the bottom. Will help push the information about your business through the ticker, or either you guys have seen us throughout the episode with the ads for all of the different businesses. As you see here, we'll start to do all of that stuff throughout the show to help promote your business, so we can keep the dollars in the same circle. Once we, whatever we spend, we can spend it in the same circle and help promote ourselves and build ourselves. So that's all the time we have for the show today. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to the marchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. See you next time.
Bye.